tighter. There you go. Now, I'm going to ask your body, are you electrical? And it says yes. Now, we'll go right allergy, left allergy, metabolic, yeast.
Hello, I'm Dr. Don Warren. You know, the healing arts have been around for centuries, operating when conventional medicine has had no explanations or treatments. Healing arts such as homeopathy, naturopathy, chiropractic, Chinese herbal medicines, and acupuncture have helped countless of individuals where other modern techniques were inadequate at best. Contact reflex analysis has rapidly grown as an accepted healing art over the past several years. But what is CRA? How does it work? And what connection exists between CRA and design clinical nutrition? Here I will address each of these questions and hopefully clear up some of the mystery behind contact reflex analysis. Contact reflex analysis is an analytical technique that may aid the health professional in forming his or her diagnosis. It is a safe, simple, and effective way of determining what physical, structural, or nutritional needs the body may have. It does not, however, constitute a medical diagnosis by itself. A deficiency, either physical, structural, or nutritional, may contribute to chronic health problems throughout an individual's life. A physical deficiency may be caused by chemicals, yeast, parasites, viral and bacterial infections, and other environmental agents. The proper nutrition may be given to allow the body the ability to correct its problem itself without the aids of synthesized or man-made medications. A structural deficiency could impinge the proper flow of energy and nutrition to specific organs, muscles, and glands throughout the body, and thus instigate acute and chronic health disorders. Many doctors of all persuasions agree that most health problems share a common root: improper body function that is brought about by nutritional deficiencies in today's fast lifestyles. When many people first see contact reflex analysis, they say things like, too simple, or there is insufficient proof that it's accurate. Well, I'm here to tell you that CRA is both simple and accurate. But the question is, how can it be accurate without the costly blood chemistry test, urine analysis, electrocardiograph comparisons, etc.? The answer is that Dr. Versendal's research was conducted in conjunction with a medical doctor, a hematologist, a dentist, and a laboratory technician, each of whom conducted their own diagnostic testing, which was then correlated with the reflex point findings. With CRA, the only tools a doctor really needs are a background in biochemistry, anatomy, physiology, and a good working knowledge of the analytic technique. Remember that the human body is an electric plant containing 80 to 100 trillion cells. Approximately 100 billion cells per hour die and must be replaced. That equates to about 24 billion cells a day that require all the known elements of nutrition. Each cell contains 300 to 800 power plants that are called mitochondria. Each mitochondrion in a liver cell contains approximately 5,000 respiratory factories or units, while mitochondria of the heart cell may have as many as 20,000 of these same respiratory units. Circulating through 70,000 miles of blood vessels are 30 trillion red blood cells. A normal, healthy human has to produce 15 million red blood cells per second to replace the same number of red blood cells that die each second. That's an astounding turnover rate of nearly 900 million red blood cells per hour. Thousands of miles of nerves carry electrical energy. In 1 square inch of skin, there are 4 square yards of nerve fibers, 1,300 nerve cells, 100 sweat glands, 3 million regular cells, and 36 inches of blood vessels. Nerves connect with every organ, gland, muscle, and tissue of the body. The heart and the brain are literally alive with electricity. All these processes depend upon nutrition to keep them alive and well. Over the past 4 decades, Dr. D.A. Verzendaal has researched and defined approximately 75 reflexes located on the surface of the skin, much like that of acupuncture meridians. These reflex areas are directly associated with the autonomic nervous system, just like on this chart. Each reflex point directly corresponds with a particular organ, gland, or bone structure in the body. When a particular organ or gland has a nutritional deficiency, or a bone structure has what's called a subluxation, the reflex point on the skin becomes hotter than normal, usually up to 1/2 degree centigrade, as demonstrated by using thermography. An interruption of the nerve energy at an organ, gland, or bone structure may key the brain to send extra amounts of bioelectricity to the area to keep it alive and functioning, thus affecting a localized tissue temperature rise. CRA incorporates kinesiology or muscle testing as an indicator. Usually an arm is used in testing by having the patient hold it up, keeping the elbow straight. The doctor then pushes down, causing resistance on the arm while simultaneously pointing to a sequence of reflex points on the patient. If the reflex point is healthy, the patient's arm will stay strong due to free-flowing nerve energy. But if the reflex point is deficient, that added amount of bioelectricity from the reflex travels up the doctor's arm, across his body, and up the patient's arm to the last muscle, which is usually the deltoid muscle. When the deltoid muscle receives that extra jolt of energy, it is shorted out, much like that of a circuit breaker under an overload in your home, and the muscle goes weak. Using this reflex information, the doctor can determine if the problem is structural, physical, or nutritional, and can give the body the proper support necessary. To alleviate some of the mystery of these reflexes, here's a sequence of testing and the location of each reflex. We'll start by showing the 9 basic reflexes. The first is the right master allergy reflex. This reflex is located just below the center of the right eye on the high part of the cheek. If this reflex blows or becomes weak, then there are 3 subreflexes to test. They are liver, bile duct, and the gallbladder reflex. The second main reflex is the left master allergy reflex. This reflex is located just below the center of the left eye on the high part of the cheek. If this reflex blows, there are 5 subreflex points to test. They are staph, strep, lung, spleen, and the large bowel, which indicates possible parasites or a bowel flu. The third main reflex is the metabolic reflex. This reflex may be found in the center of the right chest area. The metabolic reflex has the most subreflexes of any with 14. They are liver, gallbladder, stomach, duodenum or small intestine, spleen, kidney, pancreas, toxic bowel or large bowel, prostate on the male or uterus on the female, bladder, vaginal tract of the female, the ovary reflex on the female, and the testicle reflex on the male, esophagus, and the heart reflexes. The fourth of the main 9 is the yeast reflex. This reflex is located in the center of the umbilicus, or belly button. Fifth is the viral reflex, located about 1 inch below the umbilicus. The 6th main reflex is the master heart reflex. This can be tested about 3 inches below the top of the sternum. The 7th is the blood quality reflex. This is in the same area as the master heart reflex, but is tested with the palmar side of the hand first and then the back side of the hand second. This represents positive and negative electricity respectively. Next is the hemoglobin reflex. It's located about 1.5 to 2 inches to the left of the master heart reflex. The last of the 9 main reflexes is the left coronary reflex. This reflex can be found just beneath the lung reflex in line with the armpit. The next set of reflexes are the 3 thyroids and 1 adrenal reflex. The thyroid reflexes are to be tested with the palmar side of the hand, which is the positive electricity, and then the back side of the hand, which is the negative electricity. The adrenal reflex is tested with the neutral fingertips. The thyroid T1 reflex indicates the electrical charge of the brain and is located on the tip of the nose. The thyroid T4 reflex is in the mid-throat area over the thyroid gland. T4 relates to the rhythm of the heart. The thyroid T3 kidney reflex is found over the umbilicus and relates to kidney function. The adrenal reflex can be located in the left armpit. There are 4 infectious and non-infectious allergy reflexes. They are the parotid, or chemical poisoning, which is found in the middle of the left cheek, environmental or lubrication reflexes in the center of each palm, the gut reflex located 1 inch above the bottom of the sternum, and the pus reflex located in the center of the left chest above the breast. If this reflex blows, there are 6 subreflexes that need to be checked. They are the parasite reflex, the chronic fatigue syndrome reflex, the intestinal flora reflex, the liver or metals overload reflex, the cerebral spinal fluid or salt reflex, and the pus reflex for a second time. The next set of reflexes in the sequence are the sex hormone reflexes. On the male, the testicle reflex is located at the right and left groin, even with the pubic bone. The prostate reflex found at the center point between the umbilicus and the pubic bone, and the master hormonal or hypothalamus reflex, which is at the center of the nose. On the female is the ovary reflex, located in the right and left groin area, even with the pubic bone. The uterus reflex is found at the center point between the umbilicus and the pubic bone. The breast or mammary reflexes are located just lateral to the sternum, where the top of the breast tissue begins. The master hormonal or hypothalamus reflex is in the center of the bridge of the nose. There are 6 brain reflexes. The master brain reflex is located at the top of the skull. Cerebral spinal fluid or salt reflex located in the middle of the top of the head. The crown reflex located on the flap area on top and back of the head. The cerebellum or Parkinson's reflex at the middle back of the head. The pituitary reflex found on the upper left side of the head above the ear. And the pineal gland reflex found on the forehead between the eyebrows. There are 5 ear reflexes. They are ear infection or inner ear reflex, which is located behind the ear in the crease. The yeast infection reflex found behind the ramus of the jaw below the ear. The nerve deafness reflex found just above each ear. Meniere's syndrome reflex located in the center of each external auditory meatus or ear opening. And the pineal gland reflex located again in the forehead between the eyebrows. The final set of reflexes we'll cover are the 6 eye reflexes. They are the eyeball reflex, located over each eye and tested with the negative or back side of the hand. The retina reflex, which is the same area over the eyeball reflex, but the retina reflex is tested with the palmar or positive side of the hand. The infection reflex located on the outside corner of each eye, the cornea reflex located on the side of the nose just below the lacrimal duct, the parotid gland reflex is found at the center of the left cheek, and finally the pineal gland reflex is again located in the forehead between the eyebrows. These reflexes are not all the known reflexes, but they are the major ones that your health practitioner will utilize in your examination. Can CRA alone help the body get well? No. CRA is just an analytic technique utilized to evaluate the problem, even when that problem is at a subclinical level. That second dimension of CRA we talk about is what Dr. Versendahl calls designed clinical nutrition. Designed clinical nutrition is concentrated nutrient combinations that form the primary nutritional support for CRA. In other words, particular whole food supplements and glandular extracts that have been created to improve the function of organs and systems of the body. Can you buy this nutrition in health food stores? No. But Dr. Versendahl and a majority of the doctors practicing CRA utilize nutrition from a company called Standard Process Laboratory. Dr. Versendahl has found that by using Standard Process, he has attained over a 90% success rate. So while other companies may offer some worthy products, Standard Process has been his company of choice. Standard Process was founded in the early 1920s by Dr. Royal Lee. Dr. Lee did extensive study and research in the field of nutrition, and after many decades, his pioneering contributions have been recognized in the development of modern nutrition. Dr. Lee's research resulted in the development of concentrated food supplements uniquely processed and specifically designed equipment to preserve the maximum nutrients of the whole food. The validity of Dr. Lee's theories has been proven over more than 60 years of successful use of Standard Process products by health professionals of all persuasions. Here are a few excerpts from letters that have been received from various health professionals around the country about the use of CRA and nutrition in their practices. CRA is literally on the verge of becoming mainstream in that ever-growing society of alternative health care. More and more people around America and the world are looking to CRA for answers that their current health care system cannot provide. If you still have questions about CRA, please consult the health professional that gave you this tape. Here are a couple of cases that are of actual patients with real problems.
Occasional right low back pain and anterior thigh pain, hair loss getting worse the last year, astigmatism, particularly right eye vision, getting a little worse last year. Once in a while, stress, chest, heart tightness, pressure. Fatigue has been a real problem, some real serious fatigue lately.
He's skipping over a lot of these folks.
Well, it's just too long.
Keep going, go ahead.
Up and down with mood, happy, not happy, depressed. I don't know what I call a postural vertigo so much as even if I'm sitting, if I just move, I'll get dizziness, and this right eye bag here is getting worse. Irritability, impatience, anger. That's enough.
That was about a third of what he's got written down. Okie doke, here we go. Ready? Right master allergy, left master allergy, metabolic, yeast, virus, heart, blood, hemoglobin, coronary, T1, T1, T4, T4, T3, T3, adrenal. First thing's adrenal. Go back here on the back. Anytime you find somebody with adrenal, right above the kidney, any soreness in there? How about over here? Both of his adrenals are really freaking out on him. This guy is kind of like the same shape I was at one time. I don't know, do you get sharp pains in your back here?
Occasionally, but
Okay.
it's interesting. Just yesterday, as I was just poking around playing back there, that right reflex was extremely sensitive.
Yeah. Sometimes on me, in a stressful situation, it might not hit me right during the situation. It might hit me 10 minutes or an hour later, but it feels like two samurai swords going in your kidneys and then somebody turning the crank on them. Okay, let's turn it off. Go back to thyroid. T1, T1, T4, T4, T3, T3. So the thyroid's okay. Now, the adrenal can cause fatigue, can cause tachycardia, can cause rapid heartbeat, can cause blood pressure to go down, it can cause your hands and feet to swell, ringing in the ears, headaches, depression. That's something you mentioned, wasn't it? Okay. Then let's go up here. Parotid, lubrication, push, lubrication, lubrication, gut reflex, push, gut reflex, pus reflex, master brain, cerebral spinal fluid, crown point. What's the crown point? Inositol, 6 inositol a day. Okay? Turn that off. Let's go to Parkinson's, pituitary, pineal, brain, cerebral spinal fluid. Prostate, master hormonal minerals, positive, negative, lymphatics, cornea, parotid, pineal, seasonal allergy, ear infection, yeast, Meniere's, nerve deafness, ear infection, yeast, Meniere's, nerve deafness, pineal. Okay. Peripheral nervous system, peripheral nervous system, peripheral nervous system. Doesn't show anything there. Push up. Turn your thumb up. Thumb backwards. Thumb down. Push up. Okay, turn around. Let's just scan him right quick. This is his first introduction to CRA, so he's doing good. Checked all that. Any other bothers? Did we cover most of the things you had down? Atlas wedge is probably the biggie that you had. Oh, the hair loss. You got to have sugar for your hair to grow. Okay? You got to have glycogen in your system. Now, you can hold that for a minute. Let's turn off the inositol point and go back and just check his hair. Positive, negative, positive. He just needs sugar. Once he gets sugar in the system, his hair will start growing back. I've had people chrome dome start growing fuzz back all over their hair. So, try it.
Now, would the adrenals be with part of this?
Yeah, the adrenals are responsible for movement of all the fluids through the body. Let's just see. Positive, negative, erase it. Does it bother this eye? For some reason, it's bothering your right eye, not your left eye. But it's the adrenal. Let's wedge an adrenal and an inositol. That'll give you a big perk, too. Good luck. Okay. Okay, over here. One step up. Okay, another step. You're even now. Okay, coming right over here in the middle, and there we go. Okay, can you tell me what you're here for? Would you come up here?
What?
Tell me why he's here.
I mean, the things that are wrong with you?
Tell me what his major symptom is so that I can try to figure it out.
well as speech, and he has an acidy stomach, thigh pain, seeing, can't see very good, and doesn't hear very good.
Vision, hearing, thigh pain, speech,
And
acid stomach, anything else?
You feel bad.
You're a what?
I'm a man.
A mess. Some people come in thinking they're a mess, and maybe it'd be something fairly simple. Have you been checked before with CRA? No. Okay. We're going to try this, okay? Bear with me here. How am I going to treat him? The same way I do every other person. Boy, he's strong, too. Put that arm down. Push up for me. Ah, strong there. Now, immediately, I want to check negative, positive. Now, what does that tell me? Isn't that aggravating? What that tells me is that if I find a reflex now, I can be assured that that's going to be a valid test. If we find a reflex, then his body has the electric potential to heal itself. As long as you can find a reflex, you got hope. What if you go in and you don't find a reflex today? Does that mean there's no hope? It means that today he's not ready to get rid of any problem that's in there. I can't do anything for that. Okay? So let's see what happens. Push up for me, and let's go for it. Here's right master allergy, left master allergy. Now, he got a little weak. Let's try right master allergy again. Metabolic. Belly button, where is it? Right there? Belly buttons are the hardest thing to find. Okay. Yeast, virus, heart, blood, hemoglobin, coronary. T1, T1, T4, T4, T3, T3. Check adrenal. Then check parotid, lubrication. Let me see the palm of this hand. Lubrication, gut reflex, pus reflex. Pus, you push?
No.
Let me check the gut reflex again. Now, I want you to push hard this, let me get this up here. Here's the gut reflex. I want you to push hard this time. Got it? Push. I didn't even have to strain. There's nothing. Okay, now what do? We have to find out if it's positive or if it's negative. Most of these things will be on the negative side, okay? Rub down on it, and then check parasites, chronic fatigue, flora, metals, salts. Now, when the salts show up on this reflex, it says the lymphatics have gone toward the basic side, pH-wise. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 3 cal ammo a day, okay? Now, let's erase that by rubbing forward on it. Okay, and let's go back and check again. Now we're checking pus, parasites, chronic fatigue, flora, metals. It's all of them in that system. Let's go back then and check lubrication, push up on me, lubrication, gut reflex, and parotid. So all I'm going to deal with right now is the 3 cal ammo a day, okay? Then we come up, brain, cerebral spinal fluid. Now, his body's saying, hey, wait a minute, you said you was just going to give me 3. I got to have more, okay? Anytime somebody comes up and shows pus, salts, and then shows cerebral spinal fluid, give him 5 cal ammo. Will that affect his speech? I have no idea. Where's his vocal cords? They're located right up in here, aren't they? Right here? I didn't choke you, did I? Okay. See if it affects his nose. How about his chin? How about his vocal cords? What does that say? Folks, he's got the electric potential. Once you give him back the lubricating qualities, the nutritional qualities of the cerebral spinal fluid to redevelop the electrical charge that he needs to speak, to get that mental capacity back. These people, seriously, these are like miracles for folks, okay? You can do so much with such a simple little thing. Is it a cure-all? No, it might not be. What if it gives him, what % success would you be satisfied with? Wait a minute, that's anything. Okay, let's start there. Let's cerebral spinal fluid, turn it off. Let's go back and check master brain. Let's see if he needs cerebral. Okay, 5 ought to be enough for him then, okay? Go back to crown point. Go back to the Parkinson's reflex. Now, I thought he was going to show Parkinson's reflex. But I thought he had an electrical discharge of the brain, but it just didn't click. Here we go. And here's pituitary, pineal, ear infection, yeast, Meniere's nerve deafness, ear infection, yeast, Meniere's nerve deafness, pineal, positive, negative, lymphatics, cornea, parotid, pineal, seasonal allergy.
I hope I've shown how simple, time-efficient, and cost-effective contact reflex analysis really is. My desire is that you come away with a greater understanding and appreciation for contact reflex analysis. Hello, Don Warren. I'm so glad you're here today.